and tonight I'm going to share with you how to make meatball vegetable soup. First of all, it's very simple to make, and you can prepare it to have to freeze it in the freezer and to prepare it for a crock pot meal if you would like. I will tell you how to do it if you want to just cook it on the stove, and if you want to put it for the crock pot and put it in the freezer. So if you want to cook it on the stove, it takes a little less time because you don't have to do a slow, if you don't want to do the slow cooker. You can use any kind of ground meat, like ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey, any kind of meat that you might like. I actually used the Italian seasoned ground turkey. So I don't really cook with ground turkey that much because I really don't like the taste of it, but because it was Italian seasoned, it was actually really good. And because this soup is a tomato-based soup, the Italian flavor actually goes really great with it. So first thing that I do is I make like bite-size marble size, like shooter marbles, little meatballs, and they're about maybe an inch round. Some of them are a little bit smaller. I make a couple smaller for the girls, just because they like the smaller meatballs, and I make some like normal size and maybe just a teeny bit bigger. And what I do is I have 1 pound of the ground turkey. Now you can use 2 pounds if you want to make more, but the first thing that I do is if you want to, you don't have to. I usually put an egg in, and also about a palm full of Parmesan cheese to help hold everything together. But tonight I was in a hurry and I didn't do that, and they actually stayed together pretty well too. So anyways, so you go ahead and you make the meatballs and you put them in the pan and the big pot that you're going to actually make the soup in. And then you take 1 box of the chicken broth, and I use the low sodium chicken broth, and I pour it in over the meatballs, and then I turn the heat up to high, and the meatballs, I turn them on until they start to brown, and then once the meatballs are brown, then I add, now you can use fresh vegetables for this recipe. You just cut them if they are fresh, whole, carrots and green beans. You cut everything up to bite size, but to be quick, I use the frozen vegetables tonight. I also used, I found in the freezer section, the little chopped onions. It actually, if you do like a regular whole onion, I would just dice it up really good, making it kind of small cubes, or any kind of way that you like to have it. So what I did after the meatballs were brown, I put in I used 1 box of the chicken broth. I added the onions and the vegetables and and a jar of the tomato basil pasta sauce, and that gives it has the perfect amount of seasoning. You can make your own seasoning, your own tomato sauce if you prefer, if you have a recipe for that. Anyways, I put all that into the pot. I added maybe about 1/2 cup of water just to add a little bit more, because I did add more vegetables to the pot, and I wanted to allow enough water liquid to cook and have enough broth for the soup. So I also add maybe just a little bit extra salt, just a teeny bit, so the water wouldn't dilute the taste of the food, of the stew. And then after that, I let it come to a boil, and then I stirred it and then covered it with a lid, and I turned the heat down to a very low simmer, and then I let it simmer for about 30 minutes. Obviously, you can let it simmer for up to about an hour. So anyways, to prepare it for the slow cooker, you need a gallon-sized freezer bag, and you put the sauce and the vegetables, frozen or fresh, it doesn't matter. You put the tomato sauce, pasta sauce, and the vegetables and the onion, and you make the meatballs, and you put them in last, because when you're pouring them into the crock pot, you want to have the meat on the bottom and then the sauce and veggies on top. And when you put it in the freezer bag to freeze it, do not put the chicken broth in. You want to put it in before, when you're getting ready to cook it, when you put all the ingredients into the bag to put in the freezer. You put everything in except for the chicken broth, and then put the chicken broth in afterwards when you're putting it into the slow cooker. If you do plan to cook it, take it out the night before so it has time to thaw out. And then it's just pretty easy. Just make sure that you put the meat at the end of the bag, so when you open it and pour it into the slow cooker, the meat is on the bottom. Now, if you were cooking it, then you put the meatballs into the pot, and use the chicken broth to boil and cook the meat a little bit so it's not raw. Then you add everything else in. So if you are using the slow cooker on low, put it on low for about 6 to 8 hours until the meat is cooked, or on high for about maybe 4 to maybe 6 hours. My slow cooker goes a lot quicker than some others might, so sometimes I do it about 4 hours on high, and then just kind of maybe turn it down after I see it cooking. And then, if I cook it on the stove, it takes about maybe an hour total to get everything done and prepared, and let it simmer, and then it'd be ready to eat. So if you do it on the slow cooker, you would want to like give it a good stir, like halfway through, kind of to make sure everything is to mix everything together. But slow cookers are my best friend, hopefully yours too. But anyways, I will leave the recipe down below in the description box, and let you guys know what the actual recipe is. The recipe that I have is a slow cooker recipe, and you can mix it up any kind of way that you want. So that is it for now. I hope you guys have a good night, a good day, any time of day.